Are there any seniors out there today? I mean, I look so young, I really can't say. Yeah, I don't know if there are really any seniors out there, but if you say you're a senior, I'm going to blame you, okay? So, how are you today? Okay, now listen, how many times a day do people ask you, how are you? Do you realize, a lot, right? You know, when they greet you, they say, how are you? Do they really want to know how you are? Do they? You're supposed to say, I'm fine, thank you. You're not supposed to really, well, like I'll give you an example. I was checking out at the Jewel the other day, and this cheerful little cashier says, hello, and how are you today? So now there are 5 or 6 people behind me in line. Did she want me to tell her about my sore neck, my bad back, and my arthritis? I didn't know if I should tell her that, or was she just saying hello? I think she was just saying hello. And most people, I think, mean it when they say, how are you? So anyway, how are you again? You know, now during my little routine here, I'm not going to use any nasty 4-letter words. Believe me, I am not going to do it. I'm not going to use nasty words like cook, bake, dust, and iron. Ooh, I hate bad words. And that's like work, another 4-letter word. Oh, I don't use it. You know, yeah, they say carrots are good for your eyes. So how come you see so many dead rabbits on the highway? I don't understand it. You know, I have to tell you this. Before I left today, I have a friend who called me. She says, Sheila, we're going out to celebrate. I says, okay, what are we going to celebrate? She says, I just finished a jigsaw puzzle, and it only took me 7 months. I said, wait a minute, what? 7 months to do a jigsaw puzzle, and you want to celebrate? Why are you celebrating? She says, because on the box it says 2 to 4 years. What are you going to do? You know, I went to a doctor for my annual physical. You know, you're supposed to have an annual physical, you know that. And he looked me over and he says, yeah, you're in pretty good health. I says, well, doctor, do you think I'll live to be 90 years old? He looks at me and he says, well, do you smoke and drink? I said, no, I don't do that. That's bad for your health. Well, do you eat red meats and fatty foods? No, I know that's bad for you. Well, do you stay up late and go to wild parties? Oh, no, I'm in bed by 9 o'clock. He looks at me and says, so why do you want to live to be 90 years old? A little weight, it wouldn't hurt. I said, okay. He says, why don't you join the health club? Yeah, all right, I'll join the health club. So I joined a real fancy one. It cost me $400. So I joined, but I didn't lose any weight. Well, I didn't know you had to go there. I finally figured out you do have to go there. So I joined an aerobics class for seniors, and I went. And I jumped up and down, and I twisted and turned, and I writhed, and I hopped and popped. By the time I got my leotards on, the class was over. Okay, so now, I have to tell you, I saw these young girls the other day, and they were discussing their dates, and one said, I had a terrible blind date last night. And her friend said, well, what was so terrible about it? She says, he drove up in this 1932 Rolls Royce. She said, well, what's so wrong with a 1932 Rolls Royce? She said, he was the original owner. I was in the restaurant the other night, and 2 older gentlemen, I guess in their 80s, maybe not so old though, is it? No. Well, they were discussing the good old days. And one was saying to the other, oh, there's nothing like the good old days. Do you remember when you could send a letter for a 3-cent stamp? Yeah, I remember that, a 3-cent stamp. Look what you got today. And you remember when gas was like 29 cents a gallon? Yeah, I remember that. That's the good old days. And do you remember, you didn't do drugs then. If you had a drug, it's because the doctor prescribed it. That's right, you didn't do drugs in those days. And you know, people did not sleep around in those days. I didn't sleep with my wife before I married her. Did you? And he looks at him and says, well, I don't know. What was her maiden name? Now, you know, did you ever think about today, there are not a lot of words, there are a lot of abbreviations instead of words. You know, like SUV, DVD. Well, let me give you an example. Okay, I'll give you a little story to give you an example. Okay, my VCR was obsolete, so I decided I had to get a DVD. So I decided I'm not going to go by the CTA, I'm going to take my RV or my SUV. I decided to take the SUV. So I went to the store and I bought the DVD and the CD, but he didn't have it in stock. He says he'll have it delivered by UPS or DHL or FedEx, and he says I should pay COD. So, okay, so I was driving home on the highway, and this guy was driving crazy in front of me. I think he was DUI. So where is the FBI and the CIS when you need them, and the PD? I was huffing and puffing and so nervous, I decided I better get to the hospital. So I went to the ER, and I wasn't DOA, and I saw the MD, and thank goodness he gave me the MRI and CPR, and thank goodness for my HMO.
Right.
I said, you all look pretty young to me, so I'm going to give you some hints about how you know when you're getting older. You'll need those little hints. I'm going to share it with you. You know you're getting older if your back goes out more than you do. And you know you're getting older when you're watching the 6 o'clock news and a friend calls and says, "Did I wake you?" And you know you're getting older when work is no more fun and fun is too much work. And you know you're getting older when you sink your teeth into a steak and they stay there. It's really